Okay, good afternoon and welcome to today's partner webinar. We're glad that you've been able to join us. This is the first in a new series that we're starting on selling CBeyond, and today's partner webinar will be on selling Total Cloud Phone System. So we're happy to have you. Just a couple of procedural reminders. Today's session has been muted for recording purposes so that the audio is clear for all of those that are attending. However, we do encourage questions, and we'll invite you to send those questions in using the chat feature within WebEx. For anybody that hasn't attended one of these sessions or might be new to WebEx and how to do that, you simply, on the right-hand side of your screen, will make sure that you're sending to the host, the presenter, or the panelists, and then type into the box and hit send. Your question will then come over to us, and we'll be able to take care of it as we go through today's session. So on the call today, my name is Dan Chase, and I guess my picture isn't there, but for those of you that haven't met me, I am the lead sales training specialist here at CBeyond, and I'm excited to be here and be able to share some of CBeyond's value proposition, specifically as it relates to Total Cloud Phone System, and share with you some of the most common positioning statements that you can use, questions that you can ask, all in an effort to make sure that as you're out there in the marketplace and as you're having conversations with prospects and with customers, you can think CBeyond first and understand how Total Cloud Phone System plays into our overall value proposition. The agenda for today will begin with an overview and a review of Total Cloud Phone System itself. So we want to just hit some of the high points of what the platform is, how the platform works, and then we're going to get into really how we can position it and what the benefits are that Total Cloud Phone System provides to our customers, to your prospects. We're going to finish the session by going through some use cases, and so we have some pretty common scenarios that you'll come across where you can position Total Cloud Phone System as an advantage. And then, of course, we'll give a couple of real-life customer examples as well and talk about how Total Cloud Phone System was positioned, also the advantage that it provided to that customer, and really the realization of value that customer had as well. And then, of course, we have time for questions and answers at the end. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a little bit more of a look at Total Cloud Phone System itself, give an overview of the product, and get started from there. Simply put, as you can see here on the screen, our Total Cloud Phone System is a hosted PBX, and the goal is to lower the costs associated with purchasing and maintaining a phone system for our customers. Compared to premise-based equipment, Total Cloud Phone System improves reliability, increases flexibility, and enhances productivity for all of our customers. It's a hosted phone system solution that we, CBeyond, host, and we provide a superior quality of service and reliability by moving a company's phone system into the cloud. We eliminate the need for our customers to purchase phone systems or equipment and maintenance contracts, and typically costs can actually be reduced by as much as 50% by transitioning from a premise-based to a hosted phone system. Total Cloud Phone System is a hosted-based PBX that we host in our managed network and in our data centers, and it eliminates the costs, as we've said, of an expensive premise-based PBX, and also lowers the costs associated with maintaining and upgrading and making the changes to that phone system as well. Total Cloud Phone System provides businesses with high-quality phone service, but also advanced phone system calling features. Our solution provides a full-featured solution that will meet just about all of your customers' needs, one solution that supports your entire workforce at multiple locations. We provide end-to-end service and support with Total Cloud Phone System. We provide prioritized voice traffic over a private, managed, and reliable network. All of our customers have the benefit of CBeyond Online for their account management and for their employee feature management with Total Cloud Phone System. Of course, as with any CBeyond customer, we provide 24/7, 365 customer support, and that extends to Total Cloud Phone System as well. And we also have a wide range of voice over IP phones and handsets that we can provide to our customers, as well as the option for them, if they're using an IP phone system today, to bring some of their equipment with them as well. So when we think about a phone system as a whole, right, you've got really the two types that we've talked about already. You've got premise-based and you've got hosted. Probably not a new conversation for most of the people on this call, but just to recap again, With premise-based phone systems, the equipment's located on the customer site. Calls are routed to and from telephone lines. Maintenance is handled typically by an in-house staff or an outsourced technician, and changes always take time and money. When you compare that to a hosted phone system, this is where we start to get into some of the positioning and the value that Total Cloud Phone System provides. The solution is hosted off-site in a professionally managed data center, and in this case it's in CBON's data centers. Calls are routed over a data connection. Maintenance is handled by our engineers, and changes are fast and cost-effective. So what does it look like? Well, on the screen now you should see a slide of a fairly common or traditional hosted phone system environment. And here in this example, you've got a customer that's using a hosted PBX, but they're using a separate company for network access, and they're transmitting their information across the public internet, which is a very common solution in many hosted PBX environments today. Obviously, there are some disadvantages with this type of setup. Some of those are you don't have the ability to manage the latency and the jitter that may be coming across on the call. You have the potential for large amounts of data congestion. You have the loss of traffic identifiers and prioritization. So when you ride across multiple networks, that means that that data can get jumbled, that data can get put back together on the other side incorrectly, which leads to, again, that jitter, that latency, even portions of the call dropping out. And then, of course, you also have headaches associated with having multiple carriers, right? The inability to be able to very quickly and efficiently manage the environment for the system that you're within. So when we compare kind of the traditional environment to CBON's environment, one of the big advantages that we can point to right away is the ability to guarantee a quality of service. And in this image you can see that the advantage CBON's Total Cloud Phone System provides comes by being paired with our network as well, right? And here the entire solution is contained within CBON's network, which allows for the management of the hosted phone system as well as the network. You're getting 24/7 monitoring and management. You're getting prioritization of your voice traffic over your data traffic. So we're making sure that calls are clear, that calls don't have latency or have a very, very limited amount of latency. There are SLAs that cover not only Total Cloud Phone System, but also the network. Again, the advantage of being all on the same network. There's no public internet involvement at all because you're riding across CBON's managed environment, and you eliminate a lot of those multiple carrier headaches that we just talked about as well, because you've got one company that's providing the service, one company that's providing the support. And that's what our customers are looking for from us, right? They're looking for one easy person that they can get in touch with, or one phone number to call instead of having to figure out multiple different providers. So what does it look like? And in this slide, we're giving an example of how Total Cloud Phone System can be put together for, in this case, a customer that's got multiple sites and even some off-net solution needs as well. So if we'll look at the left-hand side of the screen, this would be a customer that has 2 locations in CBON serving markets, and you'll see that both locations are served by CBON, with a connection through our IAD to our data center and Total Cloud Phone System. So the difference now is when we bring in off-net customers, and in this scenario, this would be a company that had 3 physical office locations and some remote workers. We've already talked about the 2 customer locations that are in CBON's serving area, but there is one off-net customer location outside of CBON's serving area that is connected through our voice gateway back to Total Cloud Phone System as well. So we're able to serve both the customer locations that are on CBON's network and then the off-net customer location as well. And finally, you'll notice the remote workers over here on the far side. And here, Total Cloud Phone System is providing this customer the ability to have one-to-one relationship. So one handset to one data connection relationship would be the definition of a remote worker. So it's a very common business environment today to have a very geographically dispersed organization. Total Cloud Phone System is one advantage that you can talk to that potential customer or that potential prospect about, right, is the ability to manage your communication from a phone system perspective across a large geographic dispersion, but also different types of environments, whether you're in a physical office or you've got somebody working remotely. Total Cloud Phone System gives everybody the ability to communicate directly together. So we've gone through a scenario that talks about a little bit of an off-net or out-of-market situation. There are some business rules associated with out-of-market locations that we want to review before we get into the rest of today's session. First one is Total Cloud Phone System must have at least one location in a CBeyond market. All other locations can be outside of CBeyond markets, but there does need to be one physical CBeyond serviced location as part of a Total Cloud Phone System offering and solution. The customer must provide their own voice-grade broadband for out-of-market locations, and there are going to be some different requests that engineering is going to make just to ensure that the broadband that the customer is providing is in fact voice-grade. We want to make sure that we can still maintain a level of service and a level of quality even though we're not providing the bandwidth for that environment. So it does need to be voice-grade broadband and meet those specifications. Customer must also provide a static public IP address for the voice-connected broadband. Again, it goes back to being able to connect everything together and provide a quality of service. And lastly, we require, but we also provide a managed voice gateway, and it's a monthly recurring charge of $30. But again, it's connecting everything back to the phone system itself when we're outside of a CBeyond serving area. So just a few business rules to keep in mind. Again, a review for most of you, but in the event it's the first time that you've seen it, your channel manager also will have more details around these rules and around how to quote and when to get them involved or an engineer involved in this process. So we've reviewed the solution. We've taken a look at some of the rules that are associated with Total Cloud Phone System. We want to take some time to review and spend the larger portion of this call on what a good prospect looks like, and then also how to have a conversation around a hosted phone system environment and position Total Cloud Phone System. So we know that mid-market companies that meet 2 or more of the 4 criteria that are listed here on the screen have an increased likelihood to buy a hosted PBX solution, and so that's why we point them out. These 4 key attributes, you can see them here on the screen. You've got the criticality of telco continuity. So if they're concerned with, if your prospect's concerned with things like the importance of disaster recovery or business continuity, that would fall into that category, and that would certainly be one of the 4 areas that you want to focus on when looking for a good qualified prospect. The next one would be dynamic business environment. So if they constantly have changes within their business environment, within their organization, if they have seasonal or event-based or project-based employment where they have large fluctuations within their hierarchy, within their business environment, those become good indicators of a hosted phone system environment. Next, you've got thinly distributed, just another way to say you've got a lot of telecommuters or a lot of regional offices. If you'll think back a couple of graphics to the one where we talked about the hosted phone system, the hosted Total Cloud Phone System environment, where we had 2 markets that were served by CBeyond from a data connection, 1 off-net market, and then also some remote workers. Classic example of thinly distributed. Again, one of the pillars, one of those 4 areas that you want to focus on when you're qualifying or looking for good candidates for this type of solution. And then the last one is operational efficiency. So if they've already got limited IT resources, if they're already overworked, and if they don't feel like they can handle what they're already dealing with, might be a good conversation to have at this point. But also if they're really focused on things like total cost of ownership or lowering their total cost of ownership, decreasing the overall management and maintenance and support dollars that they're spending on their current phone system, this would be another area to focus on. And then at the bottom, we've got a couple of other add-ons. And what we're noticing in the marketplace now is that younger companies or growth companies are much more likely to embrace hosted solutions. And so if you're looking at a company that's growing at a rate of 10% or more a year, the information that is coming from that market is that they're twice as likely to go hosted than an organization that's growing at a rate less than that. So if you've got customers or if you've got prospects out there that are going through large amounts of growth, rapid change, just know that this would be a fairly comfortable conversation for them. And then last is companies with new CIOs are much more likely to embrace hosted solutions. So CIOs that have moved into a position within the past 12 months use 141% more cloud services than CIOs that have 6 years or longer on the job. And I'll say that again because that's a big number. CIOs that have been in their position for the last 12 months, that have been posted into that position within the last 12 months, use 141% more cloud services, more hosted environmental services than somebody that's been on the job for 6 years or more. Relatively new IT leaders embrace change much more quickly than those that have been in place for some time, and they typically take on that role with a specific mandate to achieve major change. So it's a conversation that is front of mind for those new CIOs. It's something that they've been tasked with. It's something that they are focused on. And so this is a conversation that's going to be very relevant to them, to their organization, to where their attention lies, and absolutely should be a good indicator for you that this could be a highly qualified opportunity to talk about hosted phone system, and in our case, total cloud phone system. So now we want to take a few minutes and review how to best position total cloud phone system with a prospect. And we'll do this by starting with a review of some of the most common problems that we can solve or that we can help a customer solve. Then we're going to review a few of the questions that you should ask when you're qualifying for a total cloud phone system opportunity, or questions that you can ask when qualifying for a total cloud phone system opportunity. And we'll finish with some of the top benefits that this solution can provide to our customers. So by the time we're done with this section, you should come away with a pretty good understanding of, what a customer's focused on, the types of conversations that you want to have with them, and really the benefit that CBeyond's total cloud phone system can provide to them. So when you're looking for total cloud phone system opportunities, we want you to consider the following common customer issues as good indicators for a TCPS sale. So the first one is if you're talking to a business that has multiple locations that's wishing that they had a way to consolidate their communications providers, great time to bring up TCPS. They're already thinking about how to eliminate headaches, and total cloud phone system fits into that conversation very naturally, very comfortably, and is something that will be front of mind and a good conversation and a good topic to have. That's the first problem. The next one is if you've got a growing business that has limited capital. They might be adding a lot of new employees. They could be opening new business locations. They could be adding lines of business. But if they've got a limit on the capital that they can spend, a hosted phone system environment is a very, very good environment for them to be in. It changes the conversation from a capital expense to being a conversation around an operational expense, and that's much more comfortable of a conversation for a customer that is dealing with limited business capital to have. The third problem, obviously, if you've got somebody that's got aging or unreliable premise-based phone systems, they're already in the market, they're already shopping. If they're looking to replace their PBX or even a key system, they're already looking for what advantages are there in the marketplace today. They're shopping. This would be a problem that we can help them solve with total cloud phone system, and so it should be an area that you focus on as well. The fourth problem that we'll solve, if the business is at a significant risk of losing revenue or customers, if a physical disaster were to strike one of their business locations, right? The classic example of flood, fire, power loss, theft, right? What's the worst case scenario that could happen? How would that business be impacted? What would the loss of their communications mean to that organization? If they're focused on that, then having the conversation about how they can shift some of their equipment off their premise and mitigate the risk or the potential for disaster is a conversation and a problem that we can help customers solve. And then the last one, if they want to improve the ability for customers, prospects, and business partners to always reach employees, even when they're away from their office, overall, improving their customers' experience, hosted phone system conversation, absolutely a conversation that can support that and will help. So now we're going to move into how you can position total cloud phone system. And as one of our partners, you know that our mission for a long time has been about making technology accessible to small and mid-sized companies in a very innovative way. But it's important that our prospects understand why CBeyond is unique, and that's really where the positioning comes into play. The answer is simple. We don't just provide one type of service for our customers. We're focused on becoming their technology ally so that they can focus on their key competencies, not things like managing infrastructure, right? We have network capabilities, we have cloud services capabilities, we have security capabilities. It's true that there are companies that provide each one of those in isolation, whether that's network or cloud or security. But what CBeyond does is we provide all of those together, which gives us a unique advantage in the marketplace. You might be saying, why do I care about that? By providing all of the elements together, we provide an end-to-end control of the customer's environment. It gives us the ability to provide a unique quality of service. If a customer is using us for network but also for cloud services, they can be assured that when they pick up their phone and they make a call, we're actually controlling and monitoring the flow all the way across the network. We're able to provide a very unique quality of service to our customers. We're also a single support contact. So if you think about it, when you've got a technology issue, you don't want to be flipping through a bunch of different cards to find out who's responsible. And with Total Cloud Phone System, we give our customers the ability to call one contact, and that's CBeyond. It also gives us an advantage in securing the environment, which allows for our customers to spend more time serving their customers, which is why they got into business in the first place, right? So by surveying our customer base, we've also asked how our customers use their technology today. And there are really four main areas that they've highlighted for us. The first one is to save resources, right? They just want to save resources. That can be time, that can be capital, right? But technology is used by our customers to save resources. Next, it's used to secure information. And in a lot of cases, just by having technology in place, we're able to provide an element of security or leverage that customers didn't have before they had technology in place. And then the last two go kind of hand in hand. It's to sustain systems and then also to serve customers, right? So securing and sustaining and serving kind of roll all together into one piece. But really four areas that our customers are focused on with technology, and it's saving resources, securing information, sustaining systems rather, and serving customers. So let's take a look now at some qualifying questions that can be used to position Total Cloud Phone System around these four areas. So if we look at saving resources, a couple of questions you can ask. Does your business have multiple business locations? Do you have a phone system at each location? Do you have different communication services providers at each location? All of these questions would be geared around potentially helping that customer or that prospect save resources. Again, saving resources, you can ask questions about if the business is growing or if they're planning to open new business locations. Again, inserting a hosted phone system environment is a way to alleviate some of the concern and allow a customer to do what it is they want to do if they're trying to grow or if they're trying to open new locations without the large capital expense, potentially. We're talking about sustaining systems. You can ask questions about how old is your current PBX or your current key system, or how much do you pay for ongoing maintenance? Again, with sustaining systems, additional questions. Have you been impacted with a major storm or an extended outage in the past? What was the result? Are you concerned about the impact to your business due to a risk of disaster at one of your business locations? So again, if they're focused on sustaining, these would be good questions to ask. And we'll change gears again. Serving customers. Do customers or business partners have trouble reaching you when you're away from the desk or out of your office? These are certainly by no means the limit to the types of questions that you can ask, but the key is if you focus your questioning around saving resources and sustaining systems and securing information, serving customers, those are conversations, that's a talk track that is very attractive to our customers today, and we know will help position Total Cloud Phone System for you as you're out in the marketplace. So the last thing that we'll do before we get into really some of the use cases and real life examples and then take time for questions is talk about the 5 benefits, the top 5 customer benefits that Total Cloud Phone System can provide. First one, lowers the cost of ownership. There's no system equipment to purchase, to install, or to maintain. By going to a hosted environment, you're helping the business owner achieve one of their main objectives, which is to lower the cost of ownership of that business. Next, you're lowering operating expenses. I mentioned it a little while back, but now you're talking about one predictable monthly charge with a hosted environment. It's an operating expense. It's not a capital expense. Third, it's flexible and scalable, so you have the ability to start small and grow with your business. Business continuity. By being in a hosted environment, there are built-in disaster recovery capabilities that don't exist with a premise-based system. So that's something that's obviously top of mind to business owners today. And then lastly, it's secure and reliable. And we've talked about the advantage that CBeyond provides in not only providing the phone system, but also in providing the network and the connection across the entire network. We're also monitoring and managing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. So now we'll go through a few use cases and then get into some real-life examples. And as we go through these use cases, what these are designed to do is really just kind of talk through how Total Cloud Phone System could be inserted into a customer, into a prospect to solve a specific example that they're looking to, or a specific problem that they're looking to address. So the first one we want to look at is a customer that has multiple locations, right? The problem is it's a multiple location business, but they're looking to consolidate providers. So you can see the business issues that are here on the screen. They've got multiple locations, potentially various PBXs or key systems. They've got multiple communication and service provider contracts. There's just a lot of complexity to their current environment, too many providers, too many things to keep in check. So CBeyond can provide Total Cloud Phone System hosted in our data center, and it can serve all of their locations. We can provide things like extension dialing across those business locations, provide centralized online administration through CBeyond Online, also providing high-speed internet bandwidth at each location with quality of service guarantees. Even have the ability to incorporate MPLS across locations. The overall result is we're solving the headache that the customer has with those multiple locations. We can lower their overall communications, data, and support costs. We're providing a consolidated vendor relationship and contract. It's a single support number and invoice. And then also we can incorporate Total Assist professional services as part of it as well. So if we look at another use case, pretty common in the marketplace today, but businesses that are growing, right? If they're growing rapidly, they may have limited capital available for new or updated systems and equipment. They may have a lot of mobile workers or work-at-home employees as well. Again, with Total Cloud Phone System, we'll host it in the data center. We'll provide extension-to-extension dialing. You can easily add new employees, and you only have to pay for what's needed. Work-at-home employees have all the same features as if they were in the office. They can use their own broadband connection, so they can be tied in and act as though they're a part of that organization physically in the office. And then there's also Anywhere feature, which allows mobile workers to ring their mobile phones and desk phones simultaneously and call through the phone system. Results, again, avoiding large capital expenses, have the ability to lease handsets, have predictable low monthly payments, infinitely expandable capacity when needed, and overall you can reduce the internal staff needed to manage the phone system, or you can shift their focus onto more strategic objectives rather than just focused on maintaining equipment. Aging phone system, pretty common in the marketplace today. But again, if you've got somebody that has an existing PBX or a key system, needs to be replaced, or if you've got a phone system that doesn't support mobile or remote workforce very well, and they have both or one or the other, right, a mobile or a remote workforce. Total Cloud Phone System, again, hosted in our data center. It continually updates and upgrades the system with no additional expense, one of the biggest advantages that you get with a hosted phone system. Again, the work-at-home employees have all of the same features as if they were in the office. And again, that Anywhere feature that allows mobile workers to ring both the mobile phone and their desk phone simultaneously and call through the phone system. The results that a customer in an aging phone system environment would see, again, avoiding large capital expenses, the ability for those remote and mobile workers to be better connected to the business, and we want to look at business continuity. If you've got a customer that's really kind of concerned with business continuity, disaster recovery, they're worried about the physical disaster. This is the last use case we'll look at before we go into a couple of real customer examples. But maybe they've had an issue in the past where they've suffered downtime due to a natural disaster, or they're just afraid of it. What would happen if their systems were down or if they were permanently damaged? If they've been through that environment before, what's their risk potential for going through it again, and how can they mitigate that risk? Again, with CBeyond's solution, Total Cloud Phone System is going to be hosted in our data center. We provide geographically redundant solutions and systems in multiple data centers to ensure system availability to those customers. It's monitored and managed 24/7 by our professional engineers. We offer businesses an SLA, service level agreement, that ensures 99.9% availability. And we have a set of predefined rules that will redirect calls in the event of internet connectivity or loss. So that provides a tremendous amount of peace of mind for those customers that are focused on business continuity, disaster recovery. Result is businesses are still able to communicate with their customers and their clients, even if a physical location has been compromised. It's lowering the risk of missed business opportunities or customer dissatisfaction or churn. Their biggest fear, not being able to answer the call when a customer has an issue or when a customer wants to purchase something more, is resolved. So those are some of the most common use cases for Total Cloud Phone System. Now we'll give you just a couple of real-life customer examples on how Total Cloud Phone System was used to solve some of those problems. The first one we want to look at is a car rental agency out in Los Angeles. They have 32 employees across 7 locations. All locations in this, with this customer are actually in CBeyond serving areas. They had multiple providers at each location for voice and data access. They had multiple PBX and key systems. They had different models and technology that needed replacement. They were spending approximately $8,000 a month in communication services fees. And then each location was operated independently. There was no real uniformity between all locations. So they were looking for one provider for simplicity and to save money. They had received a quote for a new PBX system on premise, and it was really out of line with what they wanted to pay. There was a hosted PBX competitor that had quoted, but didn't really provide the same type of services that they were looking for. So with CBeyond, we provided our Beyond Voice value solution and also Total Cloud Phone System at all locations. They were able to pick up things like fax to email. We included an analog port for fax as part of the solution. Now they have site-to-site calling. They have the ability to grow and to have flexibility with their growth. See, the solution was approximately $3,400 a month, so there was a savings for them as well. So we consolidated from many different service providers to CBeyond, provided one centrally managed phone system across all of their locations. They can expand Total Cloud Phone System as the company grows, and they're saving money off of what they were previously paying, which allows them to reinvest in the organization. And then the next one we're going to look at is a healthcare company out in Denver. And in this one, you had a long-term care facility that had 35 employees across 4 locations and growing. They actually planned growth of 6 new sites throughout this year. Some of their sites had analog lines into the premise, and there was a PBX and hosted voice. Others had mobile only, so they were kind of disjointed in terms of what their communication profile looked like. They'd also had bad experiences with other vendors in the past. They were looking for a comprehensive solution that would support the growth that they were forecasting for this year and on into the future. Looking for consistent, reliable communication services, looking to consolidate data, technology, and also their PBX service across all of their sites, and looking for a way to integrate mobile for their nurses that bounced in between all of those locations or all of those sites as well. And in this one, we provided 2 Beyond Voice packages on net and then also 2 off net, sharing a Total Cloud Phone System across all of the locations with additional locations coming soon. So they got exactly what they were looking for, a single provider with a comprehensive voice solution for all their sites, positive customer feedback on voice quality, but they also have CBeyond Online to be able to manage their features at the individual seat level, but for the overall phone system as well. We've equipped them for future growth, and then they're also able to look at some of their additional spend, and they're evaluating some of our additional cloud solutions as an alternative as well. So with that, we've come to the end of how to position it, what the benefits are. We've walked through some of the use cases. We've given you some current customer examples. At this point, I want to pause and take time for any questions that you might have about Total Cloud Phone System and how to sell Total Cloud Phone System specifically. You can go ahead and send those in through chat. And while we're waiting for questions, I want to make you aware of upcoming learning opportunities that we have for you. This was obviously the May 23rd session, Selling Total Cloud Phone System. We have another webinar on June 20th, again, talking about selling Total Cloud Data Center. And we invite you to come back on July 18th as well, as we go through really positioning CBeyond overall and talking about our overall value proposition and how to sell CBeyond. Question is coming about a copy of the materials today. Absolutely. The materials that were presented today, as well as a recording of the session, will be made available to you through your channel managers after. It usually takes about 48 hours for the recording to finalize. So those will be on their way. So we've got a question that's, is Ethernet the preferred bandwidth to support both voice and data, or does this type of bandwidth need to be on net? Again, with Total Cloud Phone System, keep in mind that one location does need to be on CBeyond's network, but one of the advantages that we provide is customers have the ability to bring their own bandwidth. So as long as they've got one location on CBeyond's network, there are other opportunities for them. Question about pricing specifically. On that, we would ask you to get with your channel managers. They have all of the details on the pricing and would be happy to talk to you about what the price breaks are. One other thing that we'd like to remind you as you're thinking about Total Cloud Phone System is if you find yourself in a situation where you're a PBX vendor today, and you've got customers that have older PBXs that may not give you the ability to provide any sort of Mac work for them, right? They're not giving you any money to do that type of work. This would be an excellent opportunity for Total Cloud Phone System. What we can do is actually help you start developing residual income into your business by approaching those customers and potentially providing them with an alternative or a solution that will eliminate a problem they have or don't even know that they have. So it's certainly a conversation that you want to start looking at with those types of customers. Question asking if Total Cloud Phone System can be positioned as a stepping stone to other cloud solutions. Absolutely. If you've got, if we go back to a couple of the examples that we shared, you saw that there was the opportunity in a couple of them to actually reduce spend for a customer. Didn't mean that the customer wasn't willing to spend, right? And in those scenarios, we were actually able to prove the advantages of a non-premise-based solution. Customer was comfortable with it from a phone system environment, hadn't been comfortable with it from a server environment. But then once they got to use the phone, once they got to realize that there are tremendous benefits to being in a hosted solution, they were able to convert that savings into additional spend and migrate additional services into the cloud, right? Whether that, some were dedicated cloud servers, some were virtualized cloud servers, but it's certainly a great way to open the door with customers or with prospects that in the past have been kind of sitting on the fence on the whole entire cloud conversation. So it certainly is a stepping stone and a way to position the conversation. Question about the data center. We have a data center that's located in Louisville, Kentucky. Good questions so far. I encourage you to keep them coming in. What other questions can we answer for you during today's session? Got a question about what phones do we support. Your channel managers have the detailed list of all of the phone handsets that we will support today. We're constantly adding phones to the list, so I'll encourage you to reach out to your channel managers directly, and they'll be able to provide you with that information. It's a fairly comprehensive and longer list than I think we want to read through during today's session. But they absolutely have that information for you, and we'd be happy to share it. So we've got about 15 minutes reserved for today's session remaining. Looks like we're finishing up on questions, though, so I'll pause and just give everybody one more minute to send in any additional questions that they might have. So want to thank you for attending today. Would like to ask that you follow up with your channel manager for any questions that you still have remaining regarding the content from today's session. Again, we will provide the materials as well as a recording of the session after the session concludes, usually available within about 24 to 48 hours. Would also encourage you, as you're looking for more information about Total Cloud Phone System, to get with your channel manager to talk to them about the SPIFs that are available. For example, the one-time monthly recurring charge SPIF that we provide with Total Cloud Phone System. Yet another reason to sell Total Cloud Phone System and advantage that we'll provide to you for being one of our partners. So again, thank you very much for your attendance. Appreciate the questions, and I will see you on the next call.